So it's that time of year again where we are making compost in our chicken run, or winter run, and I added 2 sections of cattle panels to their greenhouse this year, and you can see that one there. You can't see her in the camera. There's one right beside my pitchfork. She's ready to go. So I've been stirring this up about every evening. Last night I added a bunch of water to it because it was starting to dry out a little bit on me. In probably a week or two, I'm going to put a cage in here where they can't get to it. Try to let it heat up some. They got it broken down pretty good, honestly. I mean, they got the leaves and the straw and all that stuff's broken down pretty good from them scratching it. And then, I mean, there's peppers in there too, but they don't eat peppers unless they're cooked. So right now they're pooping in here, they're scratching it around, they're eating some things. There's bugs in there that they're getting. But as far as the texture of it, it's pretty decent. Size-wise, it would make a great mulch right now. It's not necessarily compost yet. I may take some of it when I do my garlic here in about a week or two, and use this for mulch on that. Watch out. See, they like to get right underneath of you when you're doing this, because they know you're uncovering all the good stuff. The older ones are way better at making composting than the younger ones are. There's already a lot of organic matter in here already, and it's only the middle of October. When I first put them in here this fall, this whole greenhouse area was clear full of weeds growing because they were in here last winter. And then over the summer, I moved them out and put them down in the field beside the garden. So all the weed seeds germinated and took off. And there's still some weeds growing. Well, they're not growing anymore, but you get the gist. This is pretty decent looking already. These ladies definitely are some good workers. The only bad thing about doing it undercover is that you got to water it, or otherwise it'll dry out. This This back on this end is pretty dry. So you just got to keep watering it so it breaks down. I mean, you don't need to water it. They'll break it apart, but it won't decompose without moisture. But it won't decompose with them digging at it anyways. Only thing they're doing is eating weed seeds and breaking it apart. So I'm going to get me a cage in about a week, maybe 2, and make a compost pile. Hopefully it'll get hot, make a hot compost pile, and I'll show you guys how I do that. How I was taught to do that by one of the best in the business on making compost, Billy Bond. If you don't know who Billy Bond is, you need to look him up at Permapastures Farms on YouTube. Permapastures Farms webpage. That's where we get our bone sauce. We get our, I got my rice knife. Comfrey. That's where it all came from. Met him about a month and a half ago. He was one of the hosts of the Homesteaders Jamboree. Super good dude. Super good dude. But I do that about every evening right there, what you just seen me do. Now the chickens are super happy. I do one more thing about every evening. I come in here, and we have pretty good bed of wood chips in here, actually. And for whatever reason, they don't like to lay in their coop. I think there's one laying right there now, actually. I don't know if you can see her in the camera. Hopefully you can. They lay outside their coop instead of inside their coop. It drives me and Heather insane. And she put a little nesting box right there for them as well. They do use that. I'm going to change how I have this set up though. But one other thing I do in here about every evening is take the wood chips that they scratch around in the middle and throw it up on the sides. Because they'll scratch it out every day. They'll scratch that out, which is kind of funny. But this is the same as, because this right here will go when it's used up. This will be in their greenhouse, so to speak. They're only in here long enough to sleep and lay an egg. Like I say, I think that one there's laying an egg. She seems like she's laying an egg right there. But anyways, I'll let her alone. Yes, you're all right. I'm not gonna harm you. Yeah, they're kind of skittish sometimes, especially when they're laying eggs. So that right there is what we do every evening in the chicken yard. We do got a pretty nice door, automatic door. It's set on the time, and it's solar powered. That thing works great. That was a pretty good investment for sure. So I just wanted to share this with you to show you what we do in our chicken yard every day. Makes them happy, keeps them making us compost. As you can see, they like to get on top and play king of the mountain. They're all molting right now. We're not getting very many eggs. We got 47 47 hens and 2 roosters, and we get about 12 to probably between 9 and 12 eggs a day. But the only ones laying is the young ones. The 2-year-olds and the 1-year-olds are all molting. They're all of them are going through it at the same time, which is fine, I guess. I'm just glad that we got some younger ones this spring. Next year we're going to get some more and cycle out. We got about 12 that's 2 years old now. They'll be 3 years old this time next year. This time next year they'll be either broth or in the freezer, one or the other. If they're not laying eggs, they're just eating feed. So that's how you cycle them out. About every 2 or 3 malts, you get rid of them. So they're going through the older ones are going through their 3rd malt right now. Or no, their 2nd malt right now. They're going through their 2nd malt. They'll be their 3rd egg laying cycle will start as soon as they get through the malt. You want to get rid of them at that point. Not then. You want to let them finish that cycle, but until this time next year, they need to go. Because then they're not gonna be laying very many eggs. Their egg count will be about half of what they were when they were 1 year old, when they're 3 years old. So anyhow, enough rambling. Just want to show you our composting operation. At this point, I will go more in depth down the road. Like I said, about a week or so, I'm going to put a cage in here, soak that down good, and make me a good compost pile that should heat up. Then get hot compost, and it'll get rid of the weed seeds that they didn't eat. And I'll let it rest. But yeah, all in all, they're happy chickens. Happy.